Hello and welcome to the Self-Consciousness Podcast. I am your host, intuitive consultant, and part-time cat herder, Jennifer Way. And I'm so happy that you're here, and I really urge you to stick around for a special channeled message. Yes, I am going back to my roots, receiving some sweet, sweet transmissions just for you. I don't know if we could call it sweet. They are what they are. But the reason is I love you. You are incredibly lovable, and you're pretty amazing, even when it doesn't always feel this way. And I am here to remind you, just in case you needed that reminder, all right? So I've got some updates for you. A little bit of housekeeping, sort of. If you or someone you know is a business owner looking to redefine employee engagement and people operations, head over to jenniferway.com to book a free 20-minute exploratory call to see if you are ready, or if this person is ready, for actual progressive organizational development and advanced engagement strategies. It's time to get brave, people. I mean, hopefully you've seen what's happened with Twitter and all those layoffs. Nothing changes until you try something new. Let's be honest. Business as usual is a thing of the past. So in my last episode, I shared again my very loud opinion / opposition of Instagram and TikTok as tools of distraction. I kind of want to say destruction, but let's just say distraction. Tools of distraction and influence, right? So this week, I am back with a brand new Instagram account. Shouldn't be surprised. And I am very aware that only 2 weeks ago, I literally broadcast that I wouldn't be back anytime soon. All right? And I honestly still feel the same way about how it hijacks your attention. I really don't like this aspect. I still think that creating endless images and stories to mindlessly scroll through is fundamentally detrimental to expanding consciousness, especially for those of us with high sensitivity and existing attention deficit issues. So, I'll go a little deeper. In my world, something has changed. I am producing a new project, and I have started a media company. Now, this is something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. And the nature of this project is such that promotion, and apparently totally bombarding you with messages about it, is a very true, very big factor in getting the word out. So if you can't reconcile this, I totally get it. And also know I am, for some reason, not eating my words. I'm just not. I don't know why, but I'm just not. Hopefully my social media presence will be a bit wiser this time around, and I will find a way to make it work for me. And if you happen to be a social media manager or know anybody, shoot me an email. I am hiring. So for today's episode, I wonder if I'll get pushback for calling it a revelation, because I know that's a very Christian type of a term. But today, you can think of me as your streaming service. So just a little bit about channeling. Channeling for me has always been one of the most exciting things. I love receiving information, and I totally dork out on the back and forth conversations with spirit. And hopefully by now, this is a comfortable subject for you if you've been listening to the show. And if not, I highly recommend listening to or watching any of my episodes with Ryan from rockthedivine.com, with Andy Murphy, Jennifer Jean, Karen Rontowski, Jamie Butler, and I'm sure there's many more people that I'm forgetting, but the gist is communicating with spirit is my joy. It's my jam. These are all people who communicate with spirit, and we talk about it in ways that are hopefully a little understandable. And again, as I mentioned in my previous episode, I'm going to be doing more episodes like this. So, in this transmission, you'll hear like old-timey words and phrases kind of integrated with my own speaking style, because that's just how it works for me. So, so sit back, relax, and receive. And remember to discern these frequencies and to discern what they mean to you personally. Protect yourself. It's really important that you observe what feels right and what doesn't. And you can focus on whichever one of those you choose, but I do encourage you to focus on what feels right. But if you can't throw certain concepts that don't feel right, if you can't throw them away and they're like jingling around in your head or they're making you feel bad, reach out. I am here. Okay. So I asked for a download about the energies of this coming week. And as I'm recording this very late on a Sunday night, very late for me is 9 p.m., by the way, Sunday night, November 6th, 2022. So please keep in mind, I am the transmitter. And as the vehicle this is coming through, my own concerns are addressed as well. So, all of this kind of jumbles together to create the message. So, fret not, for fear reveals hidden truths that can either be surmised and explored or neglected. This is where your choice comes into play. And play you shall. Play with your ideas of what is light and what is dark. What if what you previously thought was light was actually dark? And what if what you thought was the dark was actually the light, showing you a way forward, illuminating a path? Despite your fears, despite what you perceived of the world, of this world. This world is an illusion sewn together and currently held fast by the grips of humanity. The tightness of the grip reflects the limitations of the soul in body at this stage of human evolution. The organization of your true self becomes more apparent when you start to release these illusions, these dreams. We are encouraged to and practiced at separating dreams from reality in order to reflect a heavy-handed approach to life and time. Now, I'm just going to kind of expand on this a little bit. Man-made structure and organization from the mental space only. Time cannot exist in the way that it has previously, because though it is still an experience of your manifested life in this now, it is also very much an illusory concept meant to project and control an artificial order. But nature holds inherent order. It holds its own order. We don't have to order our organs within our body. We don't have to organize or manifest our bodily systems. Yes, we have to maintain them, and we are certainly permitted to let them go. We have this free will and choice. But you are born into an inherently orderly system by its very nature. Nature is order. Balance is necessary for this order. An imposed human order on things, while under a limited consciousness, will never survive or succeed. It is not meant to. Again, the universe has an order. It is just very difficult for most of us to see or understand. Those of you who are in touch with your feelings, with your receptive energy, and those of you who abide by this understand cyclical, spiraling order and the energy of existence. Your hearts are meant to expand and contract, just as you experience expansion and contraction in your life. As these words make their way to your brains, you are experiencing that same expansion and contraction through the system of the heart. The flow of your body's blood cells, the regenerating, the oxygenation. This is order. It doesn't have to be magnified or picked apart or broken down. It simply has to be understood as it exists. It must be respected for what it is. A precious, divinely engineered, and purposeful system. Your systems are crumbling. Your nature is being exposed. Fear not what you see, hear, or experience in these coming days. Understand that the natural system is working its way through fully. It is what we may experience as extremes. And we shouldn't worry about trying to avoid extremes. Nature will play itself out, but we can try to understand our aversion and our possible contraction regarding these extremes. Feeling oneself contract, offering a release and surrender to oneself, meaning not holding yourself to any external standard of existence. This can be greatly helpful in these times. To offer release and surrender to oneself when you feel yourself contract. Feel the contraction. Ask yourself, what is making you contract? What is making you freeze up? What is holding you down? Now, I'm going to interject my own personal stuff here for a moment, and I do hope you understand the deeper meaning in this extreme share. My number one advice to any uterus-having person experiencing labor pains is to breathe through it, like deep, like really deep on the inhale, and to release your butthole. Metaphors, people, metaphors. But seriously, it's the best advice I've ever gotten. Yes, it is TMI. It's just enough information, actually. So I want to thank Dr. Chen. And honestly, don't hesitate to pass that along to any random pregnant person you see on the street. I sure haven't. Okay, back to the transmission. Please remember, you are free. You are always free. Even if you experience a form of reality where your body or life does not seem to be free. Your soul, your intuitive nature, the inner workings of your consciousness are always free. For those experiencing severe trauma and real limitations on their personal freedom, fear can in fact be your escape pod. Identify the fear you are facing. Release any rules about how to feel about this very normal and very natural fear. Now imagine your consciousness moving upward to a part of yourself that might be able to see another perspective. So out of the clouds, out of the fog. This might mean soliciting aid from a trusted fellow human. Now, once you identify the real fear and you have given yourself understanding and compassion and allowed yourself to rise slightly above it, activate your creative mind to see potentials. using the possibilities to explore any openings, any peaks of sunlight. And be aware of the mind activating worst case scenarios, for again, this can be a natural state for a fearful mind in a fearful situation. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for that. Feel into and remember that the truth that you are so incredibly loved. That resource is always activated and available within you. But it is up to you to access that turret. Okay, so here I really wanted to say faucet, but the word turret came through. And I didn't really know what a turret was, but when I looked it up, so in architecture, a turret is a small tower that projects vertically from the wall of a building, such as a medieval castle. Turrets were used to provide a projecting defensive position, allowing covering fire to the adjacent wall in the days of military fortification. And a gun turret is a mounting platform from which weapons can be fired that affords protection, visibility, and ability to turn and aim. So here you are rising above the offense, however you want to pronounce it. You're activating your protection in realizing objectively that you are experiencing true suffering, the likes of which feels insurmountable in the moment. Now remember, there is a time to act and a time to surrender. But as long as your feelings are true and revealed to you in their full authenticity, you have every right and power to move forward in a way that releases fear. You can do this for yourself. Releasing the fear that clouds the mind. Then your powerful system, your miraculous brain, can be focused on the challenge at hand. Allow your heart to be fueled by self-compassion as it pumps the necessary energy in its natural flow. It is indeed very difficult to live through these current times, but not impossible. Dare I say, very much worth the challenge. This point in time, this is a journey for those who knew these chaotic energies would propel their expansion. But again, we cannot, as humans, we cannot expand without periodic contraction. Feeling into your natural flow will be imperative in these next weeks. So rest when it is time to rest, act when it is time to act, and step back to observe and process when you're feeling something in between. Please know that eventually reviewing one's life will no longer be necessary. Mulling over mistakes or regrets will take energy that you simply will not feel inclined to expend. For your energy and your power lies in your ability to refract that which takes away. Your power and your energy lies in your ability to refract that which takes away. That which takes away from your sense of self, that which takes away from your connection to your soul, and that which takes away from your truthful essence. Feeling into the energies of others can sometimes help with a sense of security, but differentiate between grasping onto a savior and observation or evaluation. life is relative to you, to your own desires for exploration or purpose or fulfillment. I want you to imagine a rose. The rose is a symbol of deep heart connection and love. In the observation of petals slowly blooming, so too can you observe your own path as a beautiful system of expansion. Hesitation is a normal way of life for now. The shells must crack. The womb must exercise its natural expulsion in a rhythm, contraction and expansion, not forceful extraction. As the midwife to your own new beingness, receive your new self into this world with love, compassion, and caring. It is the only way to make it through these times. So this concludes this mini, 20 minutes, whatever, transmission. And as always, I hope there was some resonance here for you. So please review, rate, or subscribe wherever you are hearing this podcast. It is really very much appreciated. And you can find me back on Instagram. Let me take a deep breath. You can find me back on Instagram at Hathor Communications. And I'm going to include it down in the show notes. Hathor as in the Egyptian goddess. Head on over to jenniferway.com and sign up for my mailing list to hear all of my updates and, of course, to download my free guide, Who the Fuck Am I?, for tips, tools, and exercises. If you're a worksheet dork, you're going to love it. And it's really meant to help you get in touch with your true self if you're feeling overwhelmed by all the overly serious spiritual BS out there. So thank you again for listening, and I really do hope you have an amazing week. Talk to you soon.